What's up, Lego builders? Welcome back to Coconut Brick Studios for another week of building Cato Neimoida In LEGO. This week I'm hoping to get the whole bridge area finished and connected to the mountain sides. I'm kind of at a standstill with a lot of the mock because, I decided to focus on the city, so I don't have a lot of rock work to do, don't have a lot of cloud work to do, and really, it's the city, the cloud work, and the rock work that are the three main things to get done. So now that I'm focusing on the city, I really want to just put all my focus on getting that bridge done. Then I can finally, move on to doing the buildings, the sides, finishing the cables, just all the stuff surrounding this area. I feel like it's just waiting on that bridge. So I really want to get it done because I'm sure just like me, you guys are kind of tired of just seeing more bridge stuff over and over again. I did also get some pretty good hauls in this week, probably one of my biggest minifigure hauls in a very long time. So I'm really excited to show you guys all the stuff I got planned. If you're excited to see more progress on Cato Neimoida, don't forget to smash that like button. And if you're new to the channel, watching for the first time, don't forget to smash that subscribe button and tap the bell so you'll be notified of all my future updates and content. I got some pretty cool stuff coming. All that being said, it's time to get into the update. Okay, kicking off another week of building Cato Neimoida. I'm in my bathroom, and I'm just going to give you guys a little rundown of how I wash my parts, kind of what I do when I get new parts in. So I don't always wash my parts. It kind of just depends on like what condition they come in. If they come in and they're filthy and there's lots of stuff in the bag with them, which unfortunately I get sometimes, it just grosses me out, and I like to have them clean. But if they come and they look pretty clean, they smell all right, I don't see anything like, noticeably dirty, then I'll leave them. This order I got, one of the bags was pretty dirty. I saw a little bit in this bag, so kind of made me grossed out a little bit, so I decided just to clean these anyways, even though most of these don't look too dirty. I would like to get a strainer at some point. There's actually a few things I want to buy for this bathroom for, decaling and for cleaning parts, just other, Lego related duties and stuff that I do in here. But for now, I just plug the drain and dump them in there. You can see I've got a bunch of parts for Cato Neimoida and Genosis. I hate it when they stack the parts too. Just makes them harder to clean. And then I have to go through and, take them all apart anyways, so why not just leave them taken apart. So once I have all the parts in there, grab some soap. This might not be the most efficient way. I'm sure someone in the comments is going to tell me how their way is so much better. I'm happy with the way I do this. It doesn't bother me. So I swirl the water around. See if I've got enough soap in there. Swirl around a little bit more. Got a couple of random plants in this order. Anytime I see these bad boys, I like to pick them up if they're for a good price, if I remember to look for them. It's a pretty valuable plant piece right there. So I swirl them around like this. I usually let them soak for a little bit, and then once I'm done with that, I'll pop the drain, then I pick them up by handfuls and then wash them off and stick them over here on a towel. You can see why having a strainer would be so nice, because I wouldn't have to plug the drain. I could literally just, dump them all in the strainer, wash them from there. Also, look at this, a bunch of plates stacked on top of each other. This is any Lego builder's nightmare. Plus, I just trimmed my nails. Unfortunately, this was a pretty big order. All of this right here is only about half the pieces. I'm debating on whether or not I should wash all the pieces. One of the reasons why I don't like doing that, especially with an order like this, is because this order contains pieces for different mocks. So I like to be able to sort the different bags for the different mocks out and then put them to the side. That way, when I'm filming each mock update, I can just pull that bag out and be like, all right, here's this haul. But if I have to dump them all out like this, mix them all up, clean them, it's, then at that point I might as well just put them away instead of putting them back in bags or getting them ready to show in a haul. So that's why I kind of decided to do this, because then I'd be able to do a haul video at the same time as showing you guys how I clean my parts. So I got a lot of these ball joints and socket bricks, hopefully enough to completely finish the bridge and the cables. I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that I ordered enough. I'm really excited. I'll be so excited if I'm able to finish that, because I'm getting really tired of buying these. I also have a toothbrush right here that I use for extra dirty pieces. I've gotten some pretty gross stuff before, so this helps get in between the studs, get stuff, and it gets stuff nice and clean. So I'm going to tackle the bridge this week and really get it finished and put together in its finality. I've had a lot of prototype versions of the bridge, and I've gone back and forth with how many ball joints I should use on each of the plates. I've gone back and forth because I don't want it to be too strong and overkill and waste a bunch of my ball joints, but I don't want it to be too weak to where I go to put buildings and like put the city together and the ball joints start popping and sections of the city start pulling apart from each other. So I'm going to be putting all that together and then getting those plates on. You can see it's not super complicated. Basically, once I get the pattern down, it's just replicating that pattern over and over again. So I've got the ball joints on there with a plate on top. I found if I put a plate on top of the ball joints and then put those 16 by 16 plates on top of that, the plates it helped the plates not pop off, because if you stick the plates directly on top of the ball joint, that big ball on the joint will pop off the plate, and it was causing me to have some weak connections and having some problems there. So that's what those black 2x6 plates are for on top of all those ball joint and socket joints. So I finally got the bridge mostly done and set up. I just wanted to see, what it would look like. I feel like it looks pretty cool. I'm pretty happy with that slope. You can see it's not super crazy, but I feel like it's good enough. It's big enough that you can actually notice that it's there. This is going to be the official length. This is the official width. It's finally all coming together. Like, this is going to be what I build the city on. Now, there are a few things I still need to finish. First, over here, you can see I still need to add some wedge plates right here. So it's going to go right there and add an extra 2 studs of length to this side of the bridge. And then over here, you can see how bad this is bending. That's not just the ball joints. That's not just the angle of the ball joints, but also the actual plate bending. Just because it's a super weak connection under there, which makes sense. It's just one layer of plate. So I'm going to take this down, reinforce it on both sides, maybe put some bricks under there, just make it stronger, and then get some more of these ordered, because unfortunately I'm all out. But I'm excited. I was determined to get the bridge up this week so I could finally see what it looked like, and I feel like this looks pretty good. I feel like this is a good size. This will be a good sized city. And now I can start to figure out how to connect all the cables to the city as well. Unfortunately, I didn't order enough of these ball joints. I'm so mad at myself. I was trying to not order too many, and I ended up doing more harm than good, because now I have to make yet another order for those so I can finish those off. But we're still making some progress nonetheless. I also have a haul here. So I got some dark bluish gray plate and wedge plate in here. So I'm still trying to figure out what the final color scheme is going to be for this city part. Obviously, this is all going to be covered up. Like, you're not going to see light blue and dark tan in the mock anywhere. But these edges are going to be exposed, and I'm trying to decide if I should go with light bluish gray or dark bluish gray for kind of like the frame and base of the city. I'm either going to match the cables or contrast them. So let me know what you guys think down below in the comments if I should go with light bluish gray or dark bluish gray for these edge sections. There's some more dark bluish gray plate in there. You can see I got a lot of parts for Geonosis in here and some castle stuff. Then I got a little bit of filler. It's been nice to not have to buy a ton of filler because I haven't been working on rock work, but I figured it would still be good to have some because I'm probably going to need a little bit of filler for the city. Then, of course, I got some more dark tan because I always need dark tan 2x4. And then I did get some trans clear cylinders for the clouds, which I can't forget about. I need to make sure I start working on those more because I feel like I'm going to finish the mock and still have to finish this entire cloud section, which I don't want to happen because that'll definitely drag the mock out and make for some pretty boring updates. So I was working on the bridge section and I've got most of it done, but I realized there's even more pieces that I still need. This under section, so originally I was planning on putting these slopes underneath, just kind of like this, then kind of like, staggering them so it looked like you had this sloped curve underneath. And then I realized I should probably just continue doing what I have been doing with this section of the bridge and just continue it onward, so stick a wedge plate underneath this wedge plate, 16 by 16 plate underneath this one. It makes sense. I honestly don't know why I wasn't thinking about that So that means I'm going to need to order in more of these plates and these, and I still haven't 100% decided on the color. It's kind of frustrating because light bluish gray looks good and dark bluish gray looks good. So I really can't decide which one I want to do. Light bluish gray would be a little bit easier because I have, the parts in, and I think the dark bluish gray wedge plates and smaller wedge plates are a little bit more expensive and hard to find, but I do have some of those as well. So don't forget to let me know which one you think I should use down below in the comments. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get this hung this week. That would have been nice. I mean, I was able to, hang it up and show you guys what it looked like, but it wasn't ready to be able to be affixed permanently to the cables, which is unfortunate, but I do have some good news. Yesterday, I made one of the biggest Bricklink orders I've ever made because I'm tired of just constantly waiting on parts and like trying to eke out a little bit of progress here and there. And plus, I knew with the holidays it might be kind of harder to get stuff shipped to me, so I decided to just order as much as I can, and I should be good for the rest of the year for like major Bricklink orders. There might be one or two things that I need here and there, kind of like these wedge plates and plates. So I'm really excited for that because that means these next few weeks are going to be just chock full of progress because now I can just build and build and build. And now that this is done, I can finally show you guys like the city and kind of what I have planned or what I want to do with all of that. Because like I was saying, the buildings are going to be very tough to do just because of their color. So next week, I'm going to be diving into what the buildings are going to look like and start designing them. I have a lot of pearl gold coming in this order, so I should even be able to start building them as well, which is really exciting. Also, before I wrap up this week, I've got a sweet little minifigure haul. So this is just minifigures. This is very rare. I typically don't buy a lot of minifigures, but they had some rocket droids. And of course, I need a bunch of these for the mock. I think this brings my total to 4. I'd like to have about 10. So I'm really excited to get these there for a pretty good price. And I also got a couple regular battle droids. I try to pick those up when I can. And then my favorite, the realistic phase 1 clone trooper. These are getting really hard to find, so anytime I can snag some of these, I pick them up. I was able to get 2. Both have the leg printing. And then last but not least, we have something very surprising here, something that some of you guys may have thought would never happen on the channel, but I have 4 of the Rogue One style Stormtrooper. These guys look really cool. I'm really excited to add these to my collection. And, this could be hinting at a possible future Imperial mock. I definitely bought these and searched these out specifically for a reason. So get excited for that. We've got some great minifigures here. All that being said, that should wrap up this week. Hopefully you guys weren't too disappointed with kind of the lack of progress that happened. Next week promises to be much, much better, much more exciting. All that being said, it's time to go hit the outro. Well, another week down, and kind of like I was talking about in the video, a little disappointed that I wasn't able to get that bridge all finished, but it is nice to know, like, okay, I just need these parts and then it will be done. Instead of like, oh, I still need to design this or design that. I'm really hoping to, get it secured on there so I can start doing the buildings regardless of whether or not it's hooked up to the city. Next week, I will be working on the buildings. I want to start. I want to show you guys what's going on up there, and I feel like it'll just be fun and exciting. I think that's probably one of the biggest killers of motivation for me is just being stonewalled by lack of parts. It's really hard, you get excited, you start planning, you build, and then you just run out of parts. You have to wait on this section, so you're like, okay, I'll jump over here. You don't really have parts. Because it's, I'm not always motivated and excited to work on the mock. I kind of have to get myself in the mood to do it. So it's even harder when I keep running out of parts. But hopefully with this big Bricklink order coming in, that should last me for a while. I won't have that problem, which means I should be able to crank out some epic progress in these next few updates. All that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to let me know what you thought about this episode down below in the comments, and I will catch you guys next time. But until then, happy building.